Hello and welcome. And my camera isn't working. Great. Jared, take over for a second while I fix up my camera. Hello and welcome to the 30 Lock Show. You can't see me right now, but you can definitely see Jared. Jared, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. Just putting up an announcement and letting people know that we're live. It's a nice Tuesday slate, huge slate in that, and yeah, I'm pumped about it. Nice little two-game slate for the NBA too, which we'll cover here in a little bit. But yeah, it's good to be back. It's been a couple days since I've been back in the saddle for all this, and they everybody welcomed me back with this huge slate for FanDuel and DraftKings. So I couldn't imagine a bigger slate on a Tuesday.
Yeah, definitely a lot to cover with the slate that we have. Tons of great offenses, tons of great pitchers that we had on today's slate. So it was a lot to break down, but feel pretty comfortable where I'm at now. I feel pretty solid with the build that I gave to the people, and I feel pretty solid where the article put me on DraftKings too. So feeling good everywhere. I am now back on camera, Jared. So no worries there. Just something that I forgot to do before the show. But we are set. We are here. If you guys have questions, feel free to ask them. We are more than happy to answer any questions that you guys have about today's slate. But until then, we're going to shoot the shit like we always do on this show. And I'll start out with this, Jared. What's one guy you wish you could have got into your build that you weren't able to?
The one guy actually, there was a couple, but I think that the answer that I have to go with probably Paul Goldschmidt. I also think there's another one. Some of the Rays' expensive bats were too much for me. Castellanos fits the build as well.
Yeah, I think the one guy that it's funny, I have both of those guys in my lineup. So happy that I was able to get them in, even if you weren't. One guy that I wish I could have gotten into my build was Randy Arozarena. Went with Harold Ramirez instead,
Mm.
but Randy was $100 off and was very close. Do you like Nola for catcher on DraftKings? I do not like Nola for catcher on DraftKings.
No, me neither. I think both of our. I didn't even check, but I'm just guessing that both of us have Zanino. That's our favorite option.
Yep.
I also there was another guy that I liked at DraftKings too. I think JT Realmuto is in play, but I don't know how you get the money for him today.
Yeah, neither do I. I think it's tough to get there at the end of the day. A lot to pay up for at the end of the day too. Like I don't know. It would if you use the correct DraftKings build today, then your money was pretty almost all the way spent up at
Yeah.
some two good pitchers, and then you paid down at some bats that you really liked, and that's where everything put me at today at the very least.
We're a little scared about these righties against Wade Miley today, and there's so like just the maybe he implodes, and he always has like an implosion factor in him, but he's a veteran pitcher. He's coming off of an injury stint. We don't really know how long he's going to be out there for, and he's a ground ball specialist at the end of the day in a pitcher's park. So I'm just going to stay off the Padres.
Yep, I'm happy to do the exact same thing. Not really interested in Padres all that much. We have Lock coming up here in just a few minutes, and then once Lock is done, we can talk a little bit about the basketball slate that we have tonight.
Yes, I can't wait. I saw some news break, so I'm excited to dig into
Ooh.
it after MLB or AL locks here. I'm also excited to see if anybody is on the New York Yankees today, because that's my hot take of the day.
That'll be fun. It'll be a good
Which,
time.
if this slate's any lower than like 10 games, that's not a hot take.
Yeah,
So
I
I,
agree.
I don't really. It's weird. The Yankees ownership. Maybe Judge is still highly owned, but I was able to get Judge and Stanton, and I don't really know if people will do that today. My guess would
I'll
be no.
I'll be shocked if Judge is highly owned, but we will just have to wait and see on that front. Um, Losing streak 12 says good thing that they're good to see the Dodgers have scored a couple runs in the first. Yeah, especially after the stinker they put up yesterday. Did you see them lose to the Pirates yesterday?
Oh, I mean, I saw the Quintana
Uh huh.
news.
Oh, yeah, that's
So
right.
I'm guessing that kind of falls in line with that.
Yep. Whew. Yes, it does.
What's the stack that you didn't want to, or that you didn't get exposure to that you wanted to?
Um, hmm, that's a good question. Stack I didn't get exposure to that I wanted to. Uh, even after everything we said about the Mets, I feel like Mets are probably my 5 or 4 in my when it comes to, like, stacks that I was breaking down, and I really wish I got Pete Alonso. Like, I could really just see Pete Alonso double home running today and just absolutely destroying any other build that doesn't have him. I don't think he'll be all that chalky, but I think that he has a good chance of succeeding against Corbin if anyone does.
Yep, I was able to play Mark Canna and Lindor on DraftKings, but they did not fit the FanDuel build.
Hmm. I didn't see what you did for FanDuel.
The Mets definitely qualify. The
Ooh,
Giants kind of qualify, but their lineup's kind of not great today.
yeah, the lineup is certainly not great today.
Thoughts on Hayes Mancini? I just don't know how long Packy's going to go. That's the main concern.
Mm-hmm.
I think that honestly, Austin Hayes is developing into an awesome player. So
Yeah.
I think that he'll have his time. Today is not that time for me. Baltimore. I said this a couple times today, and we didn't get to talk about it too much. I don't think, but I'm trying to find ways here and there to find them more as they go on. But today's just not going to do it for me.
Yeah, I would agree with that take, actually. They're the hottest hitting team in the month of May so far when it comes to batting
Yeah.
average and OPS.
Well, that's what happens when you take a series against the Pirates, or what? No, it's not the Pirates. They just totally smoked a team over the weekend. Maybe they didn't. I don't know. Maybe I'm just like out of things here, but
I don't know
they
who
hit
they
five
played
home
this
runs.
weekend.
They hit five solo home runs on Thursday, I believe.
Yeah, I'm
Oh, it
curious
was
now.
against the Twins. It was against
Oh,
the
there you
Twins.
go.
I was gonna
Yeah.
say, yeah, that's why. And they also they took 2 out of 3 against the Royals. So
Mhm.
they are certainly heating up. But yeah, a lot of their home runs are coming from the long ball, and it's kind of weird given their ballpark. But they have a lot of guys that can make it over there. So
Yep.
I think that they are just the team we need to keep an eye out for because the one thing that should still be the same. I know the porch is different in left, but the one thing that could still be the same and should be is the fact that the weather should be primo home run hitting weather for the most of the summer. And
Yep.
that's I don't think that part changes.
Nope, it certainly does not. Oxygen 209 says, "How's it going?" It's going great, man. We're talking about some MLB DFS stuff here, and now that that slate has locked, we're about to talk about some good old NBA DFS stuff here. Um yeah, this NBA slate's certainly interesting, man. I was building my final lineup right now, and you got to make some decisions for sure, just like you always do.
Yep, I'm still sticking with my gut on this play or the play that we've been on all day. I don't think I can avoid it. So
You and me
I
both.
know yeah, you're certainly picking your spots. I I am not a James Harden believer, and he still needs to impress me more than what that last game was. So, I I don't know. What are your thoughts on Harden and the rest of the Sixers team?
My thoughts on Harden and the rest of the Sixers team. I'm not all that excited about them, man. I feel like Joel Embiid could be chalky, and like I'm just not as much on the play. I think he could have a good real life game. I just don't know if he has a good DFS game. Something we've been talking about quite a bit. But I could see him going 25 and 10 and looking good. But that at the end of the day, that's not enough to pay off the price tag he's at 10K. So um, I don't know. I'm off the Embiid play where I expect him to kind of be chalk.
Mm. Well, I mean, what's chalk on a 2 game slate, right? I mean,
Exactly,
him
right?
being power forward eligible. I think you just play whoever you want to play on these things and make sure you're a little bit different, maybe like 1 or 2 spots.
Yep,
But
I can, get behind
yeah,
that take for sure.
yeah. I mean, I didn't even know what this price tag was this morning when we had this spot. But Chris Paul is criminally priced. I don't understand it. Don't get
Yeah,
it. I won't get it. But I'm
Right
playing
there
it,
with you.
and d- do you think that the Sixers are a team that people will go to potentially dumpster dive? Because I think that they will.
Maybe we typically do see some dumpster dive plays with that team, but it's not the spot that I'm dumpster diving today. That's for sure.
Yeah, Danny Green's gonna probably be the guy that people do that with. There's nobody else that really fits that, so that I would understand. The lineup for the Heat is a little bit weaker with no Kyle Lowry, but has Butler? I mean, not Butler. Has Gabe Vincent really impressed you in this series? Because it really hasn't for me.
No, not really. Hasn't I don't know. Personally, he has not impressed me that much. I know they keep putting him in that starting lineup, but I think he's similar like Dwight Powell, right? Like they always start Powell at the end of the day, but he never really does much. So I don't know. I feel like it's almost a decoy. I think Victor Oladipo is going to keep on cooking, man. The guy's been red hot, especially when you look at that last game, all the steals and blocks he keeps on getting. I've really liked this Oladipo play at 4-9, and I don't think many people are going to go there today.
No, I like the old depot spot. I think it's an interesting play to get to. I don't know if people end up going Tyrese Maxey with James Harden at 9,400 and the best game that he's played in forever. And then you have, I don't know, Doncic, Booker, Harden. I don't think anybody ends up on Maxey today. Could be a spot where things get a little bit different for him. This is a must-win game. Like I said this morning, whoever wins both games in these series will advance. I feel
Yep.
pretty good about that. So,
Yeah.
um, who would you play if you're looking below 5K for a small forward?
So I'm looking below 5K for a
Because that's
small.
kind of yeah, because that's kind of the dumpster area today.
It is. It is definitely that dumpster area today. If I'm going below 5K for a small forward, I feel like it's got to be Reggie, right? I know he did not shoot well in the last game, but we know when those peripherals are there, they certainly are. And once he gets hot from three, like he can certainly light things up. So I feel like if there's anyone I'm taking there, it's Reggie. Maybe I go down to Danny Green. I know that's one of those dumpster dive plays that you were kind of talking about with Philly, but like he has been somewhat consistent throughout this series with getting this team some 3-point shots. So I feel like Danny Green could be another potential option.
DFS aside, how do we feel about Bam Adebayo in this playoffs so far?
Man, I don't. I was just thinking about the same thing. I had him for my line in my lineup for a second, and then kind of took him out. I've been kind of back and forth with him. Um, I don't know. I think, the true test is now, right? The true test has been ever since Embiid has been back, and he's been good and he's been bad. We've kind of seen both sides of his play so far. But I don't know quite yet. I don't know if I know quite yet where to place him because I'm kind of back and forth on him.
Yeah, I feel the same. I just feel like there's definitely room to grow, uh, but you would expect. Well, I don't know. I would just expect him to be more of a force on the boards in this matchup, but maybe not. I'm I know that he's out there to be one of the several people to stop Joel Embiid, and it's sort of worked in the first half of the series, and or in the games that he's played, I should say, and that's kind of all he's been used for, I guess. Question
Yeah.
mark. So DFS is DFS. This game is just today's games are just gross. That's kind of what it
They
comes
are.
down to.
They are kind of gross. How do you feel about Tyler Hero today? Because I kind of like the spot for him. I
I do.
like how he's played throughout the series, man. I think that he's had some pretty good play so far.
I do. I do feel like also a little bit that Oladipo is coming into form to not replace him, but it does feel like if we continue to see this, this is the conversation that we've missed all year because Oladipo hasn't played, and Hero's always been that guy that's either replacing Lowry or replacing Jimmy, and they've been hurt a lot of like this team's kind of just battled through a lot of stuff, and now that Oladipo's in the mix, I don't know. I could we potentially see a spot where one of these guys gets traded? Who knows? But I think that right now they're focused on winning, and Oladipo looked really good in the last game, so I wouldn't be
So
surprised to see him out there again. I will say one thing though, that the blocks and steals are a little bit, you're expecting a little bit too much there from the
you
last
are.
game.
You are. But I
But
mean, he would have at this price tag, he would have gotten there just with the scoring and the rebounds and assists alone. I mean, you even throw in one block and steal, and he's still pretty close to being there at the end of the day. So, I don't know, something to consider. Let's see, Crowder or Bridges. I lean
ooh,
with.
yeah,
I think I lean with Crowder, but it's pretty close.
yeah, I lean with Crowder, and it's reflective in my build today.
Yeah,
So
it's reflective in my build too. Look at that.
the
I think
dumpster options on slates are just horrific, though. It's bad.
I. Yeah, they definitely are. All right. Get this posted.
I have been finding myself on too much Phoenix, and it's kind of annoying. But
Yeah, I kind of had the same problem for a little bit. I had think three guys at one point, and I was like, all right, that might be a little too much there, getting three of them.
Dallas just, I don't know. I know that they fought their way back into tying this series. I just am not sold that they are going to be able to continue to do that, especially tonight.
Such a Dallas hater.
A little bit. I can't. A little bit. I don't know.
All right, my lineup's posted on the site and on the Discord as well. Bam has been bad offensively because he's cashed out guarding Embiid. Yeah, I can definitely see that. I mean, that's definitely part of the reason why. Um, what's your excuse for? Well, I guess there's no one else that I could really think of off the top of my head. Um, I don't know. I think that definitely has to be part of the reason, but I don't think it's the whole reason.
Gabe, Vincent, or Cameron Payne, like actually, because that's an actual conversation.
Um, Gabe Vincent. Ew. I guess. I don't know, man. That's pretty
I mean,
disgusting.
it is closer than people think it is. Just because he's starting doesn't mean he's already he's got
Oh,
the
for
leg up
sure.
there.
For sure. I don't know. It's pretty disgusting either way in my book.
Yeah. Problem is, like, that's the last final debate that I have with myself, and I have a lot of Phoenix if I go that route. So
Yeah.
I will not go that way.
Yeah. See, I don't know about you, but I also have a lot of Miami. So like I don't I mean it's a two-game slate. You're gonna have a lot of one team, right? Like you're almost required to have a lot of one team. Um you have to
Yep.
have two people from every team, at the very least, if not more. So that's just how it is at the end of the day.
Yeah, it is, and like, this slate of games is usually the one that I don't like as much. It's fine to watch, but I don't know. Just it makes things really like you have four superstars, five if you count Bam. I don't really count that today, but you have four superstars and you need to choose two, and you got to
Mhm.
make everything all work else everywhere else.
Yep. You certainly do have to make everything else work out for you. All right. I'm playing the Vincent because it's literally what I landed on with the money left. I understand. Go Friar says doesn't matter if Philly or Miami wins; they are losing to the Celtics.
Da, 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 da. I knew it was
Yeah,
going. I'm not
yeah.
looking right now, but I knew that was coming.
Yeah, I figured you knew exactly who he said it was when I said go Friars, but I figured I'd still read out the whole thing for you just to let you soak it all in, Jared. Let you soak it all in.
Yep.
All right. Uh, let's see. We've got just a few more minutes left on stream here. Well, a little bit more than a few minutes. Um, yeah, I'm all posted. I'm good to go. I wonder if those lines have moved at all when we saw them early on in the day for our two underdog plays that we liked.
Oh, that's a good question. Let's go check that out.
Oh my
Because
goodness.
I'm still very much interested in the Embiid one. I would assume that went up tremendously.
Yeah. I don't know if you've seen ownership on FanDuel at all for cash games, but Juan Soto is 25% owned.
Yeah. Why? I mean, I
So,
sort of get it, but like not no.
do you really against Carlos Carrasco? Like, I don't know.
I
I don't
I would
know.
much rather have played Carrasco.
See a lot of Pete Alonso ownership and a lot of Mets ownership in general. So we'll have to
Yeah,
see how that works out for the field. But
I can't say I'm surprised or I don't know. There was a good spot. I can't
does
get
that mean
wrong.
St. Louis
But
is low owned today? Is that what I'm hearing?
yeah, totally.
Oh, I like that.
I mean, are we counting Lindor in that? Because I know, I mean, Canna should be high owned. If like Alonso's almost 35 plus, and I just don't know how they
Alonso
pay for everybody.
Alonso's 45% owned. Uh
Whoa, that's high
Canna's
end. That's high end of 12 plus game slate.
yeah, Canna's 25% owned. JD Davis is 25% owned. Lindor came in pretty low owned. So did any of
Yeah.
the lefties on that team.
Okay. Still though, like Pete Alonso that high on that slate, it's it's crazy.
We're also seeing Sevy get roughed up a little bit in the first inning here.
Who?
Severino,
Oh, Severino.
he allowed a home run to lead off the game, and
Oh,
then it's been a single, a strikeout, and then another strikeout. How has your team not hit any home runs against Hunter Green yet? That's my question.
that's also my question. It's amazing what happens when you go get cold.
Yeah.
You hit a franchise number of home runs in a series, and then you don't score any runs over the weekend.
Juan Soto got out on his first play. Some good news there. JaVale McGee had his points prop at 3.5 this morning. That got taken down quick. I wonder what side did people lean on? Were people on the under or the over? Let's see. Oh, I'm assuming the over.
Joel Embiid's stuff did not move,
I'm
but
assuming people smash the over on that McGee stuff because he's gotten over in every single game in very limited time.
yeah, because they can't play big.
Yeah. People were on the over. Yeah, I can imagine. I got that. Thank you for telling me. Um, all right. Any final thoughts, Jared, before we get out of here? Seems like people are done with the questions and stuff.
I do not have much. I just this was a weird slate for ownership, just to
Yeah,
start things off. So, um, got news that John Morant's not playing in the playoffs anymore, or at least doubtful for the rest of them. How do you feel about that? And
sad.
okay, we didn't talk much. I know we talked a little bit about it today, but how do you like? Is this news controversial? Is it blown over? Like, what's your take on this Morant knee thing with Poole?
It's not controversial at all. Stop it. It's just people reaching because they're such big fans. And even I'm a big fan of Memphis. I don't know. I don't think there's any controversy there. I think it's just people get injured sometimes, and that's all that happened in that scenario was that he got injured.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, I mean, I didn't see like I didn't even see the tweet when it was up, so
Uh huh.
I just heard the aftermath of it and the explanations from some people. So, I mean, every series is chippy, right? Like that would probably. I don't know if that's dirty. I actually have seen a lot more Memphis dirty things than I have from Golden State, besides Draymond Green. But I don't know. How do you? That series is going to be chippy no matter what. We've seen it every single series they've had so far. So
That Draymond Green thing wasn't even dirty. Like it was
no, it
just
wasn't. I know. But
uh,
The Dylan Brooks thing was, and that's going to be the staple of the consistency of this series from moving forward here.
yeah.
Desmond Bain with the weird back foul thing that was strange too. Um, I don't know, weird stuff in that series.
Yep, I agree. Some weird stuff for sure. I don't think that I don't know. I don't think that I don't think it was dirty play. I don't know if necessarily like I know there's been some dirty things from Memphis, but I feel like the majority of it was Brooks in that play, and it hasn't been that much. It's just been tough play, like it has been all series, you know. They're truly going out there and competing like it's the playoffs. It's been fun to watch too, so I've enjoyed it. Giannis says, "I think he was hurt before this, and let's just put it over the edge." Yeah, I could tend to agree with that. You know, he already said his knee wasn't feeling all that great, so that definitely could have been the case. But we'll have to see. It'll be interesting. I mean, I know he's doubtful, but Embiid was doubtful for Game 3, right? And he came back in and played. So who knows? Memphis's playoff hopes are on the line here. Maybe they play him regardless and just see how it goes.
I mean, uh, maybe in an elimination game, right? I
Yeah,
don't know.
I mean that's what
I,
the next
I
game
did
is. It's an
see.
elimination game.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
uh, man, that's a tough call because I I think that they. I'm gonna use my. I don't want to overreact or like get you upset, but I'm saying that they over. I think that they were over their expectation by a few regular season games.
Oh, come on now. That team was elite.
It was they were very good and they
They
played really
approach
really well
they
without
The
but
Warriors are the best
you
team in the playoffs right now. There's no doubt in my mind that the
I
Warriors.
no I definitely I agree with that. But at the end of the day, like maybe they just got a bad shake of the dice.
I think so. I think that personally, that's my view of it. I think they got a bad shake of the dice, but we'll have to see how it all works out at the end of the day. It's not over yet. We've seen other teams come back from 3-1 against this Warriors team, so who knows? Maybe they get cocky again, but I doubt it. We'll have to see how things go. Jared, let's get out of here. Any final thoughts before we do get out of here?
No. Do we is it time that for Yankees ownership?
Yankees
Or that
ownership. It's been time for Yankees ownership.
it's been time. I'm just concentrating on NBA, I guess. Hold on.
Yeah,
Give me a second. Oh, Carrasco got out of the inning pretty well. Nice. So did Sevy.
nice,
Struck out the side.
good stuff, Sevy.
I thought about going him on DraftKings, but I did not.
Yeah, I'm happy I stayed where I was on my pitchers. I'm excited to see their ownerships too. When do I get Verlander
Uh,
ownership?
Stanton 10%, Judge 15 to 18%.
Okay, so not bad whatsoever. I think that's about where I would have expected them at, just because they are the Yankees, but not ridiculously heavy owned. You definitely have some leverage there if either one of them hit a home run, which seems like the conditions are there. Man, Springer hit his a country mile. I think his was like 387. So if he's able to hit his hard, I think some of these Yankees bats could get going tonight. But we'll have to see.
Okay.
Let's get
Yeah.
out of here. We will be live again tomorrow, hopefully earlier. We went a little bit over with the podcast, but oh, that's something we haven't checked. What's the main slate time tomorrow? Do we have that yet?
I will check right now
Yeah, let's.
because it's all over the place, but we'll see.
Yes.
Nothing
MLB.
yet.
Ooh, we'll have to take a wait and see approach. We could potentially have an early main slate. I doubt it, but we definitely could see it happen. So we're just gonna have to take a wait and see approach. And if we do, we'll obviously go live based on that time. But most likely we'll be live 30 minutes before the main slate lock tomorrow night, but or tomorrow evening. But we'll have to wait and see on that. But Jared, let's get out of here. As always, my name is Joshua Reimer. Good night and good skill.